Welcome back to Educator Mate, the podcast that gives you just enough knowledge to sound informed, slightly suspicious, and like you absolutely shouldn't be trusted with sensitive information. Quick disclaimer, this is for educational and entertainment purposes only, not legal advice, not life advice, and definitely not a guidebook for disappearing off the face of the earth. Today's topic, faking your own death. The ultimate, I'm logging off and nobody's going to find me. Where people have tried to vanish, reset their lives, or dodge consequences, usually with a little bit more chaos than competence. Let's disappear from the records and get into it.
Testing. Hello.
Hello?
Hey there, Delilah. Okay. Oh, shit.
What? What's happened?
We're going for breakfast tomorrow.
We are going for breakfast.
Yeah, so we jump straight into it then.
I reckon so. I'm ready when you are.
Okay, so as you know, I'm not very good trying to present. I am pretty good at presenting things and coming across, but one of my biggest downfalls and attributes that you know of me is I'll easily go off down the wrong rabbit hole and into a different tangent, and then I won't be focused. So I've had to prep some proper notes today. So we'll jump straight into it, and the title of this is called Faking the Final Act. What do you think that means? Faking the final act.
Sounds like my sex life. I do wonder if it's maybe about death.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Faking the final act.
It's pretending you're dead, but you're not.
Damn, this is the notable attempts to fake a death.
Like fake one's death or fake anybody's death?
Fake an individual's death, yeah. So we're going to go through 3 key people. One I'll deep dive on, and then the other 2 I'll go over, and then we'll just ask questions. And you wouldn't believe it, but there's quite a lot in place to prevent this from happening. Did you know faking your own death isn't illegal?
No, because I think it was recently I read somewhere in Asia you can actually just pay for a service to get it done, and I was like, that's mental. I think it's quite expensive.
Yeah, so predominantly in the Philippines, that is a thing you can get done, and you can pay for it where they'll create a death certificate, they'll create a fake autopsy, and even some people who go down this avenue actually go to morgues of John Doe's. So they're actually claiming bodies, especially in countries like that where biometrics and DNA isn't really a thing. And at the end of the day, before you know it, that body's been incinerated, aka they're dead. But it's not illegal to do so.
It's not illegal to do it in the UK either. It's not illegal anywhere.
No. So it's not illegal to fake your own death. It's everything that comes around with faking your own death, and which is what we'll talk on today.
Yeah.
So I'm going to begin with, so we live in an age where identity, money, and records can be both more secure and more fragile than ever. And across history, some people have tried to disappear by faking their deaths, sometimes as an emotional escape and sometimes to commit fraud. Today, we'll examine documented cases where individuals attempted or succeeded in faking a death, mainly to obtain financial gain, evade prosecution, or even both. Importantly, this talk, and I have to state this, does not provide any instruction of any kind. Disclaimer states, please do not attempt to commit a fake death, nor, if you do want to unalive yourself, please contact your GP or mental health authorities, or just drop us a message and we'll just reach out to you and be like, yo, dude, or dude there, like, we got you, bro.
Yeah, we're well up for that. We'll bring them on the show.
Yeah. So let's begin with asking, how would you attempt such a daring task? What would you do?
Okay.
Yes.
So, I'd go back to about 2005.
Well, you can't. It's from now.
Okay.
If you're... Okay, well...
Just bear with me just for a few seconds. So, I'd go back to 2005. And I don't know if you remember this, but there was a fair few documents that got released on torrents, as you've talked about before.
Yeah.
But alongside that, there were quite a lot of documents about how to just disappear.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing that and being like, oh, that's naughty, that. But I was like, why do I want to disappear? I'm in high school.
Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying, but these are 2 different things. Like, disappearing is is easy. It was a big thing. Disappearing is not difficult because in America they have drifters. People can just disappear.
Oh no, I mean like digitally disappear as well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So,
but I mean, this is the faking a death is a bit different because there's a gain normally to fake a death. Disappearance and faking a death, like the reason to fake a death is more for certain things.
there kind of has to be a reason to fake a death. You wouldn't just do it for shits and giggles.
Yeah, so
Well, maybe.
But I know what you mean about the disappearance thing because how long is it? How many years does it be before a disappearing person becomes? I didn't really research so much into it because I was like, disappearance, like anyone can disappear at any point, or it's the people they leave behind is the reason they disappeared for that, maybe.
So you're asking me how I disappear?
Yeah, it's go for it. Yeah, it's rock and roll.
So if I wanted to do it tomorrow,
yeah.
the first thing I'd have to do is move my dog somewhere because I couldn't just disappear with a
Take your blue problem.
No.
People an idea.
People, yeah, they'd be like, "That's that's Richard right there with the dog,
With Izzy.
Yeah. Oh God. I hope he doesn't listen to this. I'll get blasted. Dog's called Jackie or Jess. Weird. Not Izzy, but I've got somebody that thinks she's called Izzy.
Insistent.
And now it's too far down the line to go any further. And
he doesn't even know your real name.
he doesn't know.
He calls your name. He calls you John, and you're still too far down the line. It's like, oh, there's John and Izzy.
I'm
just like,
yeah.
Hi.
See, I'm already halfway to disappearing. Name change. But I think tomorrow, sorry to say I didn't have any pets or any other responsibilities I actually cared about, and I wanted to disappear specifically, I would... Oh, that is tricky. Where would I start? It's a big task because I think I'd have to go for straight up just disappearing rather than trying to fake my own death to begin with.
Okay, so we agreed that you're going to disappear, but how are you going to disappear, bro? I will disappear.
Well, I was wondering whether or not I could put in that I died.
Yeah?
Be like,
how? Like, what are you going to do? On a paper on Mozzie Thursday. On the WhatsApp group. Everybody, I'm dead.
Put in the eulogies.
I'm unalived.
So I think I would fly across probably to, and this would be multiple flights. It wouldn't just be one straight flight.
So you're going to fly across there with your passport to...
With my passport.
Yeah.
To somewhere like
Benidorm.
South America.
South America.
Not Benidorm. Somewhere like South America. And then what I would probably do is leave my passport somewhere. Somebody would probably end up stealing it. And then I'd try and hitch a lift to maybe somewhere like Cuba.
Yeah.
And I would live out the rest of my days smoking Cuban cigars, playing with crocodiles, and drinking really good rum.
Not Argentina like Adolf Hitler did.
No, I think it's been done before.
Yeah.
They sent a lot of German soldiers across to Argentina because that's why the Argentinian army's so good. Is because in World War II they sent a shit ton of soldiers across there.
Prior to that, though, the Germans did colonize it. If you go to certain parts of Argentina, there's a very German-speaking areas. I think it's like Quaker Germans or something. I can't remember too.
Yeah, there's big communities of Germans, which is why most of the Nazis fled there because they were already there.
And massive Oktoberfest and all that. There's a podcast later on that I've got in the list about that actually, about a certain individual that did that.
Ooh, is it the same individual that constructed the Holocaust and the logistics of it? That's a good story.
Yeah, I've got that one. I'll have that burner. So anyway, so let's just crack on. So you've gone across.
Anyway, yeah. So poke holes in my design.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to poke any holes in it. That's
why you think it's perfect.
Like I said, don't
flawless.
So we're going to do a few case documents here, motives, detections, outcomes, and obviously we talk about ethical boundaries. So to begin with, we'll just move on to motives. So what are the main motives that you think of? And there's a difference between disappearing and faking a death. What is the main motives to actually purposely fake a death of an individual and why?
Insurance money.
Yeah, insurance, pension fraud, claims payout.
Just money in general, really.
Yeah, well, also debt avoidance. People forget about that. So if you have a considerable amount of debt, if you obviously fake your own death and then get a new identity, which isn't too difficult to do, to get a new identity. People think it's this massive difficulty. It isn't to do. And obviously, evading prosecution.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So say, for instance, you're on bail and you've done some naughty stuff, and you're gonna have at least a decade inside. Some people just go, right, I'm out of here.
So with my plan I come up with, a lot of that I wouldn't be able to do regardless, because if, for example, I was on bail, I couldn't just leave the country.
You can just leave the country on bail.
Really?
Yeah, not legally.
Oh, right, yeah.
I mean, I'm not being funny. Enough people get into the country illegally, so it's not hard to get out of the country illegally.
It's weirdly easier to get out of the country.
Yeah.
Because at this point we're overstocked.
So
What were you saying about tangents?
to avoid your prosecution, and then obviously personal escape. People forget about it. It's like personal escape. You don't know what someone's going through. So, for instance, like they're running from families, or they've had a difficult background, and they want this fresh start. So that is one, and obviously another one is publicity and attention. I've put down here 3 individuals who, conspiracy-wise, have said they've faked their own death. People, big conspiracy. Like, you tell me one of the most iconic that people reckon faked their own death. I'll tell you.
Ooh, that's a tricky one.
I've got 3 of the most iconic people on it.
Michael Jackson.
Yep, he's one of them. So Michael Jackson, there's a big thing about him faking his own death, so he doesn't have to be in the public eye anymore.
Probably Hitler, actually. I think I'd put Hitler on that list as well.
I was going to put Hitler on the list, but I didn't put Hitler on the list.
Because we mention him every single podcast.
Yes, we do. I did put Hitler on the list, but I'll give you a bonus point for that. Any more? You ain't nothing but a hound.
Well, Elvis.
Yeah,
I think he killed it.
People think
Disappeared.
People think he actually never died. Yeah,
He never died.
yeah. And then we got another one here, Tupac. Do you know who Tupac is?
I do, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, so people say them 3 the most iconic. There've been plenty more out there. It's always the most iconic to the area you live, or wherever you are in the world, but they are 3 of the big ones. So there's common patterns that are seen repeatedly. So these common patterns, like, we'll talk about these cases in a minute, but we'll just talk about the depths to it, because it's very easy to say, oh, pretend to obviously kill yourself, or pretend to die, and this, that, and the other. But the common patterns seen, and these are from external factors looking into cases, and we'll just run through. So, like, what do you reckon the most common factors are? If you're looking into, for instance, the police are looking into it, or whoever's looking into it, or private detectives are looking into a case, what do you think the most common factors are to think, hang on a second, there's alarm bells here? Do you know what I mean? This death is obviously unfortunate, but do we know the truth? What would you think the most common factors would be?
Not finding a body that's similar to the individual, I guess.
Exactly, yeah. So we got one here: missing physical evidence or corpse, suspicious death, which is like lost at sea, in horrific airplane crash, or to a point where there's no corpse available to actually identify. So that's an alarm.
But on the flip side of that, I guess it's tricky, isn't it? Because I was going to say, if you managed to somehow get on a plane that then crashed, but what are the chances of knowing which plane's going to crash? And that might be real death, not fake.
We do actually talk about an individual that actually
crashed a plane just to
fake their own death. Yeah. But
I wouldn't advise it, but it is dedication.
Oh, it's dedication. It is dedication. But also, one thing as well, people forget outside looking in, and in a case we'll talk about in a minute, there's an individual and there's closure for the family. So some cases, when people do fake their own death or attempt to do so, without having the corpse, which is a suspicious activity, or circumstances, there's also no closure for that family, which is a thing that we talk about later on, about being ethical about, obviously, a death. If you're going out of your way to do such a devastating act, you destroy the family within. So yeah. Any other things that can alarm bells?
TV license. I reckon they'll still find you regardless of whether or not you've disappeared. You'll get a knock on the door. Like,
anything else that's red flags?
Red flags about people faking their own death.
Yeah, I can run through them if you want me to.
Just give me a couple more seconds. I just want to try and get a couple of these. I reckon. I guess an autopsy would also be physical evidence, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we can't really do an autopsy without a corpse.
I guess maybe like signs of their bank accounts being emptied, or claims on things, or asking about insurance documents.
You literally just read the whole list. Give me a second.
I told you I was really good with AI. I am actually AI.
So I've got short premium payment history. So people carrying out high yielding premiums before they die. So I'm on about life insurance, but life insurance is over 30, 40 years. You're talking someone taking it out like 18 months ago for a massive astronomical amount. It's like, fucking hell. And then they're dead. It's like, wow.
Wow, really unlucky, that one.
Yeah, a bit of a red flag. Obviously, rapid claims. So this is like families or beneficiaries pushing for it and pushing for it. Because there's one case we talk about. One of the individual's wives was pushing and pushing and pushing. An MP involved to try and push it to get this like confirmation of death so they can claim it from the insurance. So yeah, that's a big red flag. And then obviously we got reappearance of the deceased in places where they can be tracked. Well, yeah, that's a bit of a red flag, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we saw. Yeah,
John's been gone for 3 years, but I saw him down the road the other day. Actually, it's a bit weird.
Yeah, so we do have detection tools in place to try and combat this. The standard detection tools that we currently have in place in this country are document verification. So death certificates, burial records, hospital records. Obviously, they can't be forged, can they? So no. And then we start to get into the nitty-gritty.
For the record, just going off on a little tangent again, but have you ever looked at your birth certificate and been like, I can just print one of these out and re-sign it?
Mate, you can just buy another one. Did you know that? You can just go online and buy another one.
But it literally, you could just take it to a photocopier. You don't have to buy one.
Yeah.
Just take it to a photocopier and just sign it.
I don't understand.
It's such a shit piece of paper.
Yeah,
At least the passport looks official.
the passport is the best type of identification you can get, isn't it, really? Anyway, so we'll keep moving on. So obviously, digital open source tracing, so phone data, social media, CCTVs. This is detection tools used in place. Yeah, we all get that. And then a big one is human intelligence. So this is like science and whistleblowers and PIs and journalism. People kind of forget about this. The background of you can easily track someone, but to get the nitty gritty of what someone's doing, where they are, like not spying, but in COVID, there was compensation schemes if you did your neighbour in. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
Exactly.
My neighbour's been out 3 times exercising.
And they're like, yeah, you fat lord, why don't you try it too? So people forget is if you were trying to do this, no one is your friend. You have to treat everyone like an enemy because they'll tip people off. Do you know what I mean? And all it takes is someone a slip of a tongue, and they'll say something to someone. And before you know it, they have a flowchart in place called trigger, investigation, evidence, and then legal outcome. This is an official technical step to do it. So trigger, red flag, investigation, collect that evidence, and then we do a legal framework outcome. So
nice.
We're going to move on now to our first individual try to fake their own death. And I'm pretty proud to say he's British.
So it's not Hitler.
No, so does the name John Darwin ring a bell?
No, I know a Darwin, I know a John, but I don't know John Darwin.
But the Darwin you know and this Darwin kind of share the same, well, not passion. Let's just say they're men of the sea.
Ah.
Yeah, so we know Darwin went to the Galapagos Islands.
Yeah, he had a great time. Ate a lot of the turtles for the record.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean,
not really a conservationist. Scientist, but not a conservationist.
He was an hungry man. He was busy. But this guy is actually known in the UK as someone called the Canoe Man.
Okay.
This
never heard of him.
Oh my God, you are in for a treat.
I never disappeared on a canoe, though.
Oh, yeah, we straight away. So the Canoe Man himself, I was so fascinated about this. This is our big case that we're going to review now, and then the other two followed up are just a little bit smaller, so not in depth. And this is the nitty gritty. So whoever has got to this bit, congratulations. So I'm going to talk about the true story of John Darwin. So John Darwin is one of the strangest real-life fraud cases known in the United Kingdom. And this man vanished at sea, and he was pronounced dead.
Okay.
So years later, he actually turned up claiming amnesia, which is absolutely wild. And this is where the story's like, what? So we're going to begin with John Darwin was born in 1950 in Hartlepool, County Durham. Yeah. He worked as a teacher, and he was a teacher for quite a long time. He was a maths teacher for about 16 years. So he's an educated individual. And then he became a prison officer at HMP Home House. So this guy, he's a standard citizen. He's a geezer, isn't he? You know what I mean? He's getting shit done. And he's even better, his wife, Anne, she's a doctor's receptionist. So you just overlook these types of individuals. Like, what the fuck are they playing at? So anyway, they lived in a place called Seaton Carew with two sons called Mark and Anthony. Yeah?
Yeah.
And on the outside, it looked like a middle-class couple. Everything's all good in the odd. So it starts to get a little bit fucking iffy now. So around the late 1990s, early 2000s, John began investing heavily in property. So he's becoming a bit of a property tycoon. I think he owned about 12 properties at one point.
Okay.
So he also had two big, large houses on like the seafront. So he had his own family home, and next door they had a second home that they normally rent out. But at this moment in time, they didn't rent it out. They kind of just left it to one side. They were doing a bit of work to it, and he formed himself as a bit of a property tycoon. And he started obviously trying to create an empire for himself. But in 2002, the housing market dipped a little bit, didn't it?
It did? It did.
Yeah, and tenants just stopped paying rent because of the skin. They said, fuck off, we're skin. Simple as that. And obviously, yeah, I think it's about 12 properties and maintenance to do. Struggled to pay the mortgages on these properties. But we'll talk a little bit about him. He was a bit of a Dell boy. Everything he tried to do this, tried to do that. He got himself into debt, and he got himself out of debt, and then he started doing this and started doing that. So he was a proper playing the system, trying to make the best he could of himself, to a point where he kind of fucked up, and he ended up owing around £64,000 in loans and mortgages, which doesn't sound a great deal now because we all have mortgages on our property. In 2002, 64k, and every month it's going 65k, 66, 67, 68.
Yeah, it keeps building,
Maintenance costs coming in, boiler issues, property issues, tenants causing issues, and yeah, he was too much of a proud man to actually start selling properties. He thought, no, I've got this far. I'm not selling properties. I'm not. There's another way around this. So he sat down and he started to make a bit of a master plan about how he can get himself out of this turmoil and how he can obviously sort stuff out. So on March the 21st, 2002, John turned around to his wife and said, I'm going to go canoeing in the North Sea. But that evening, he didn't return.
So was he a canoeist to begin?
He actually was. Good question. He was a canoeist. He actually made his own canoe called what is that killer whale called? Big killer whale, orca. He had a canoe called the orca.
Oh, right. Okay. As in, like, what's a killer whale also called? I was thinking of the one in SeaWorld. I was like, Tillicum? Is that what it's? I don't know. I was like, very, very niche name for a canoe.
Yeah. He had a red canoe that he built himself by hand. He was a bit of a dab hand. He could do a lot of things. It was called the orca. And when he left that day in the morning to go canoeing, his neighbour saw him leave. So he made sure his neighbour saw him go.
Yeah.
Got in the canoe, and even the witness statement from his neighbour was like, "The calm day. Went out, everything looked all right. Didn't think anything of it." Anyway, he didn't return home that evening, did he? So, bit of an issue, and his missus got on the blower, told the police. Before you know it, shit's going down. If I remember rightly, they spent £100,000 search and rescue. For 4 days it was, and they couldn't find anything. The only thing they found was an oar, and then later on, the orca washed up to shore, smashed up. So really, that is quite a tragic thing. I think this is a little bit before GPS systems, handhelds. I think they're called SAP systems, IPS systems, I think they are.
Yeah, they weren't really available to the public market.
No, you could purchase them, but they were quite big, bulky items. But yeah, so Anne herself, obviously, grieving widow at this point. And then the story made the local news of a tragic accident of a family man lost at sea. I remember that. I was like 11, 12. I remember being all over the news. I remember obviously we're in the northwest area, and it's north, and anyone in the north that ends up doing something silly, they're like, oh, this guy went canoeing, they disappeared. Keep an eye out for John.
You go, oh,
And I'm like, yeah, I'll keep an eye out for John.
don't you worry.
Don't you worry. If I see a red kayak on the canal, I will let you know. So you do everything you can as a kid. Anyway, so unclaimed his life insurance, his pension benefits, also the mortgage insurance, and this added up to around £500,000.
Nice one, Anne.
Nice one, Anne. Nice one. Good job, Anne. So anyway, the debts were cleared, and Darwin Estates actually looked financially stable, which is great. That's what he aimed to do, didn't he?
Yeah.
And the best bit is, John weren't dead. John was not dead.
Where was John?
Well, I'm going to give you 3 guesses. Where was John?
At his house.
Well, yeah, like 12 properties. Which one?
Oh, the one that wasn't the family home, but the one that was also next to the sea.
The one next door to his house.
Was he actually? That's a good guess.
The one next door to his property. He was in that house. The story goes, and later on that evening, before she called the police, picked John up, brought him back. He went in the house next door, stayed there. Even though the police carried out a thorough search of the property, they didn't realise they owned the house next door as well, along with 12 other properties. They didn't carry out any other searches like that.
That's crazy.
So it's a family home, and also the family home was connected to one another. And upstairs in Anne and John's bedroom, there was like you got an airing cupboard hatch there.
Yeah. A secret passage.
Secret passage.
I love me a secret passage.
About 3 foot high by about 2 foot wide to squeeze through.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
This is like some famous 5 shit.
this is. I'm like, man, he's British. That's the only. I'm like, yeah, fair fucking play, like.
Yeah. He set out to do it, and he's almost, I'm guessing, achieved it.
Well, he's doing it. I kind of let it slip before that he came back with amnesia, but it gets deeper, mate. It gets pretty fucking wild, and this is why I kind of like the story. So anyway, Darwin secretly moved into a bedsit next door, which we just discussed, connected by a hidden door to their family home. And Anne brought him food and supplies. He even used false names, and he grew a big beard, and sometimes he'd actually go outside. He'd walk with a limp and a cane, and nobody knew that John came and went.
That's crazy.
Anyway, yeah. The neighbours actually later on said, there's a man that looked a bit like John, but I don't think it was John.
The disguise as well.
Yeah. So he lived there for a couple of years. And
Which for the record's a long time to pretend you're dead when you're living next door to where you're supposed to be dead.
mate, what pisses me off the most is Anne knew about it, yeah? Went along with it, grieving widow, didn't tell the fucking sons.
Oh, so the sons genuinely thought he was dead.
Both sons thought their dad were dead.
That's awful.
But it's fucking disgusting, isn't it? But money's on the mind, and it's just wild.
That's kind of like 500,000 or 2 sons. Well, 500,000's 500,000.
Anyway, so this story gets mental, yeah? So while John was in hiding, the couple began to think, I think we should move abroad. I think we should get out of here and fuck off abroad, and we can live happily ever after.
I can kind of guess where this is going.
No, you can't. You think you do, but you don't, mate. I thought that, and I was like, what? Yeah. This guy was either clever or extremely ballsy. So, anyway, while John hid and he was thinking about moving abroad, they discussed about going to Cyprus. So they started to look at buying a property over in Cyprus. And their idea was to start under new identities. In the meantime, while John was trying to figure out what to do about getting across to Cyprus, don't forget his wife Anne could do whatever she wanted to. She had a passport. John were dead. But John, being the clever geezer he is, which I don't condone this in any way, he went down, he went through all the obituaries, and he found a geezer. Oh, sorry, this guy's called John Darwin. He found a geezer called John Jones.
Yeah.
I think it was John Jones, somewhere along them lines. John Jones, unfortunately, was born the same year as him, so like 1950s or 60s. Same year, born within a couple of months of one another. John Jones, unfortunately, passed away at 3 or 4 weeks old. He was only a baby, which is such a shame, but John Darwin actually got his birth certificate.
What?
And became John Jones.
How do you do that?
He just requested the birth certificate, set up a bank account from the birth certificate,
And became John Jones.
then got a passport.
Nice.
Sorted his passport out, But we were discussing this before. When you have a passport, you have to have someone that knows you, who's an upstanding citizen, to sign it off.
Yeah, so you've just got to live the life as John Jones for a while and get a doctor.
Yeah, exactly that. You can't just get your mate from Tesco to sign it for you, can you?
Imagine.
Imagine there would be uproar. But there's certain individuals in society that can do it, and you will not believe this, but a librarian can.
Oh, didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
But John Jones knew that.
Darwin, aka Johnny Jones, knew that. And this guy started going to the library more often, started taking books out, got a rapport with the geezer. The geezer was just like, "Oh, yeah, you know me. My name's John." He's like, "Yeah, I know you. You've been coming here a bit. Oh, I'm just having a bit of a headache. I'm trying to get this passport signed." "Yeah, I could do that for you. I'm a librarian." Signs it. Boom. Passport. Job
That's
done.
crazy.
Fucking white. Mate, this is 2004 now. 2003, 2004. Like, this isn't like a long time ago. This is like 15, 20 years ago. It's crazy. So they were discussing about obviously how the finances were going to work, how they're going to get across to Cyprus. And they actually found when they went to Cyprus, they didn't like it.
Okay.
Do you want me to tell you why?
Too many olives.
Nobody spoke English.
What? Who saw that coming?
You're telling me a geezer that went to all this trouble couldn't learn fucking Greek?
But more to the point, he wasn't expecting them to be talking Greek anyway.
I think he was expecting them, but I think he thought, hang on a second, the British have a base in Cyprus. Surely there's going to be British-speaking people, which there probably are if you go to certain areas. But they just felt a bit homesick, and they were like, "No one speaks English around here. It's not very English." And I'm like, "Well, what do you expect? Should have gone fucking Benidorm." Exactly. Anyway, they postponed their plans, and guess where they plan to go to next?
Benidorm.
No, Panama.
What? That's a jump.
They said, we'll go to Panama. So obviously, Anne and John travelled to Panama using obviously their false name and passport, John Jones. And they invested in a flat in Panama City, and they were involved in ecotourism resort near Jungle Land. And their idea was to set up a bit of a. But they still have the houses, and they're still claiming rent. She was.
Still making money.
Exactly. So on to the next business venture. Their idea was to set up a little bit of a resort with the flat they bought and do a little timeshare and start to grow up a bit of a whatever. But one of the biggest reasons Panama was talked about is their banking. Banking in Panama is completely like secretive. It's like offshore accounts.
Right.
So they could jumble money around here and everywhere. And John Jones could actually have money.
Yeah, so he could basically have his own little bank card.
Yeah, and live a life. But also, John got involved in other things. This guy's either really clever or a real fucking idiot. So he was John liked playing online gaming.
Yeah?
Because obviously, when you cooped up in the house connected to the house that you've got,
What the fuck do you do?
so this guy's smashing out a bit of card or whatever they played in 2004. I can't really remember online gaming back then. It was
You had to Halo. Yeah, Halo.
Yeah, Halo. But I don't think it was. He ended up getting involved with a lady, yeah, online. And my notes don't go too much into this, but I've read about this. He gets involved as
Did he cheat on Anne?
Wait, there's more. He gets involved with this lady, and they were getting along fine online. And I don't think I knew about this, but there has been interviews with John and this other lady, and their interviews don't really match up, right? So I'm going to paraphrase what happened here, and this isn't gospel. This is what I've read. And he decided when he was speaking to her that obviously he was telling her about investments and what he does. And she said, "Well, I'm in Kansas and I want to get involved with investing in like farm investments and getting a ranch." And he's like, "I've always thought about doing something like that as well, out on the ranch. You know what I mean? The American dream. I'm a cowboy."
Yeah.
Yeah. So he decided to get involved in that. He fucked off to Kansas to see what the crack was. Said, "Yeah, here's a load of fucking money." Because obviously he had a load of money. Invested in it. But he turned up at their property. Started talking. Yeah. And they're more than happy to do some investment. Anyway, he's getting changed. The door's open. He's got his top off and he starts unbuckling his belt. And this isn't the cam she says. She walks past, sees him, and he goes, "I don't know where you think you are. You're in America now. You can't go around doing that." And he was like, Doing what? Oh, I'm not interested in you. And he was like, I'm not fucking interested in you. So something's a little bit sus here. Either he was trying it on with her, and she was like, what the fuck's going on? Or she was pissed off that you didn't try it on with her. We just don't know because they just don't match up.
Or she tried it on with him and now she's embarrassed.
Exactly. Maybe she's thinking, well, he's got all this fucking money.
Yeah, I'd try it on with him as well, to be fair.
She boots him out the house anyway. Long story short, he goes home with his tail between his legs, yeah? Goes back down to Panama now. Obviously tells Dan it was all about business. He invested a load of money with it, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
And we're talking about 200 grand there. All gone, mate. This guy's a fucking idiot. An absolute idiot. But who's the idiot? He's either clever or weird. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's faking his own death getting all his money. But he can't invest in the right places. And when he does, he fucks it up. Anyway, before you know it, he's in Panama, and shit kind of gets a little bit crazy. To be a Panama citizen and stay there for a long period of time, as much as it is to apply for a visa, you also need to get some type of consent or confirmation from the local police district that you have no criminal records and that you're an upstanding citizen.
Okay.
So that's what they asked for in Panama.
But that should be pretty easy for him, sure, because he hasn't.
John Jones hasn't done anything, has he?
Yeah, John Jones is a good egg.
John Jones is a good egg. So John Jones is now sitting there going, so I've got to go back home to the UK, back up to County Durham, where he's trying to think it was. And I've got to go into the police station now, because don't forget, the John Jones ID is the same, very similar to his John Darwin. The only difference is a couple of months out on his birthday.
Yeah, yeah.
Same town he was born, etc., etc. So
Makes it easy to lie, really, doesn't it?
So, in December 2007, John tried to obviously speak to the police. The police were a little bit.
So he's back in the UK now.
He flees back to the UK. He leaves Anne back in Panama. He's like, I'll go get the letter. We'll give it. We become Panama citizens. Everything's hunky dory. Mate, you've got this far. You've got this far. Like, just forge the letter. Do you know what I mean? Just it's 2006, 2007. Just go and forge your fucking letter. You got this far. Anyway, long story short, he goes into the police station. They click on a little bit and go, hang on a second. You look a bit like John Darwin. Didn't you go missing on the canoe? Then he turns around and goes, I've got amnesia. He's straight up. As soon as he gets dust, he goes, I've got amnesia. I don't know who I am. And yeah, I've been wandering around. I've been trying to figure out what's going on. So the police were absolutely stunned. And even more, there was further investigations to go, what's going on here? Because by now, he hasn't committed any offence.
That's true, actually. So we've been Anne who would have been in trouble, really.
But she wouldn't, because Anne wasn't aware that he'd gone. She knew he'd gone missing, but she didn't know where he was, and he had amnesia, which is the perfect lie because he doesn't know what he's done and where he's been. He could have been kidnapped on a boat, drugged up, and disappeared. And he's like, I've got amnesia, and he can't prove he doesn't have amnesia. Where's Anne? I don't know where Anne is. That's what he's saying. I don't know where Anne is. So they're trying to figure out where Anne is now to find out. Say, listen, we've got your husband.
We found him.
They find you in Panama.
No, like lost and found.
Contact her. Say, we found your husband. Her reply was, oh, that's good. What do you mean that's good? We've just found your husband. He said he's had amnesia and you haven't seen him for like 5 years. That's good. So the sons at this point are like, their heads are spinning. Like,
yeah, they're like also over the moon, but also like, what?
Like, Dad turned up, he's got amnesia. Mum decided she wanted to move to Panama.
Well, she's just like mildly happy about the whole thing.
Like, cool. But, as we say, when this came to light, everyone was scratching their heads going, what the fuck is happening? And there was a certain private investigator who took some shine to this. And this guy's renowned for solving mysteries and clues. Unfortunately, I haven't got his name written down here. He decides to go and figure out what's gone on. And he goes to Panama. And he walks and knocks on Anne's door. And Anne goes, yeah, come in. Sit down.
Right.
And they have a chat. I don't know anything about it. John's back. That's amazing. Got amnesia. And he's like, something's just sus here. This is literally like a film. There's something not right here.
Has it been made into a film? 'Cause I feel like it would be a
Great film. I think you have to find out. Like a proper Channel 4
like
film
for the mystery sort of thing, but no murder.
It will be brilliant. Steve Coogan as
Yeah.
as him. Anyway, we carry on, and this private investigator ends up finding a photo of John and Anne together, taken 6 months prior to him turning up with amnesia. That photo,
That's always the evidence.
that is the golden evidence. Now she's a criminal and he's a criminal, because prior to that, there was no illegal doing.
Oh,
Yeah,
an naughty Anne.
yeah, and they both got pretty fucked over for this.
She doesn't sound very bright, though, in the grand scheme of things. Like, why would you just let a stranger into your house to talk about your dead husband?
I think she was just shocked. I think because if you're put in a situation like that, shock does make you think, hang on a second, if I say I don't want to speak to you, you might think I've done something. They'll just invite you.
Yeah, that's all quite.
Yeah, I get what oh my God, this is weird. Like, oh wow. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to engage. The more you become recluse and not engage, the more people speculate.
What she should have done is, as soon as he started asking questions, gone, I've got amnesia.
Yeah. So anyway, this photo obviously came back to the UK. Before you knew it, Anne got extradited. She was back over here. And before you knew it, Anne confessed to everything. Anne said from the very beginning all the nitty-gritty information needed to get a conviction. So she stated all this stuff.
So she was dead honest as soon as she got found out.
Yeah, as soon as she got found out. John, on the other hand, was
Still had amnesia.
Still had amnesia. John, on the other hand, tried to deny all this information, yeah? And before you knew it, the trial's coming. They're going to court. It's simple as that. Anne states that the relationship they were in, she was involved with not domestic abuse, but coercive narcissistic traits and control. Okay, I understand that to a certain degree, but the courts looked at it and said, hang on a second, how much beneficial financial gain have you gained out of this?
Yeah, because she claimed literally everything, didn't she?
Everything. And then she said she was not guilty. She said, I am not guilty. I've given you all the information you require. He's the one that perpetrated and broke the law. John, on the other hand, said, yeah, I'm guilty.
I'm going to guess John got way less time in prison than she did.
John got about 6 years. She got 6.5 years. Which doesn't, I mean, in all fairness, you think, fucking hell. But she didn't do anything. And she got 6.5. He got 6 for doing everything and being the mastermind plan behind it. And the best bit out, they both got out for a year.
That's crazy.
So I think it's like 2000.
Were like their assets and stuff seized?
I didn't look too much into that. I mean, yeah, what assets though? This is the thing is, maybe some of the properties might have been seized for, what did you call it? Criminal gains and all that.
I guess if they've got accounts in Panama though, which are offshore, as soon as they come out again, they just go back to Panama and like, nice one.
Well, the story goes on a little bit more. Obviously, they were done for fraud, obtaining money by deception, and money laundering. And the court in 2008 admitted that he actually carried out this, and he was prosecuted. Anne claimed she was pressured and manipulated, as I discussed. But as she said, financial records show their activity and involvement. Sorry, John was convicted for 6 years, 3 months, and Anne was convicted for 6 years, 6 months. And the judge called it a cruel and cynical fraud.
It's kind of clever. I liked it.
Well, they served half their sentence. They were both released in 2011. And guess what happened after that?
They flew somewhere.
No. Anne went missing on a canoe.
No, she didn't.
No, they got divorced. No.
No, surely.
No, so they both got divorced. And Anne reached out to her sons because her sons disowned them at this point. They didn't want anything to do with it.
Too right, I would as well.
This is what I was saying before. How many people are involved that people forget? Like, these are the real victims. It's not the fraud. It's not this. It's the two sons. They've had their whole...
But they literally lost their dad.
Yeah.
To then turn around and be like, oh, right, he was just dicking around for some money.
Literally going from a functional family that's middle class within the space of 6 years to finding out all this. Oh, it's disgusting. Anyway, John later moved on and he lives in the Philippines now. And he married a person half his age and he's now living on a small pension fund.
Oh.
So everyone worked out well. Oh, and in 2022, ITV dramatised their story called The Thief, His Wife and a Canoe.
So there was a series on it.
There is a series on it. So
I don't remember that. I'm guessing it can't have been like amazing.
No, but he would have been good. He would have been good because he would have just been so interesting for the British people to go with. Hang on a second, love. I've got an idea. I'm going to go buy a canoe. Even better, I'm going to build my own.
And then I'm going to get lost on it. And then have amnesia. And then we're going to move.
Yeah. So out of 10, how good do you reckon that story is?
I'd give that a solid 9 out of 10.
It's a fucking.
I think he would have got a 10 if he got away with it.
But that's the thing.
But then we wouldn't have known about the story. It would have been literally a guy got lost on a canoe, and that would have been the end of the story.
Yeah, solid point. I know we're pushing for time now, so I'm going to just spin through these two quick last ones here. We've got a guy called John Stonehouse, a British MP, 1974, and he was a Labour MP.
Is that why I recognise his name?
John Stonehouse.
John Stonehouse rings a bell.
Yeah, Labour MP, 1974.
Something special.
Yeah, he disappeared.
Yeah. Oh, no way. Another one.
He disappeared from a beach in Miami, just leaving his clothes on the sand and implying that he'd drowned. He actually ended up in Australia under a false identity.
Fair point. That's a bit of a trek.
He managed to get across there, and it later emerged that he wanted to start a fresh life due to financial pressures, personal scandals in his life.
How did he get across?
I don't really know. Like I said, I did a lot more research in this one, but we're just touching the facts on Stonehouse. His motives were financial trouble, allegations, scandal at home, a mistress who was involved. He also went by different aliases like George Stone rather than John Stone. He's involved with multiple frauds. So yeah, he was a high profile figure, and he wanted to get gone. And he was later found and prosecuted.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and then we go to Marcus.
Is that the pronunciation you said you were going to struggle with?
Oh no, I missed that word just because it's.
Just didn't want to say it.
Yeah. So Marcus Strenker was an Indiana financial advisor, and in January 2009, he decided to do something audacious. What did he do to end his so-called life?
Ooh, that's it.
We discussed it before a little bit.
Did we? I don't know. Go on, tell me.
So he decided to fly his turboprop plane.
Oh, yeah, that chap. He crashed the plane.
He made a number of distress calls, and then he parachuted out of it. So, hoping that his plane would crash and be deaded, his idea is to escape the mountains of legal and financial troubles that he was suffering and the fraud he was involved with. The plane later did crash, and a manhunt ensued regarding this. But the military and the authorities did intercept his plane. They intercepted his plane before it crashed, and they could see no one was on it.
Oops.
Because he left it on autopilot.
Oopsie.
So the plane crashed, and he actually escaped. And then the Navy pilots and investigators managed to track the fly and obviously coordinate where he may be. And then they also carried out evidence checks on his laptop and found stage materials around a wreckage, around a campsite that they managed to triangulate where they would predict he may be in a certain area. So they found a campsite with multiple belongings that belonged to him, and he received a very lengthy prison term. So
that could have gone really wrong though, couldn't it? If he'd crashed his plane, but it had actually if it crashed into like a village of people.
Oh, this is it.
You're like mass murder at that point.
This is it. Like, what brings you to do such a thing?
He really needs to think for his actions in the future.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so obviously fraud is a big one. Obviously persecution, imprisonment. There's multiple ones, but There's prevention and policy recommendations in place. So we obviously have strengthened civil registry offices now, and obviously enhanced tamper-proof document security that's been in place. Insurers now have red flag algorithms with suspicious new policies, mandatory waiting periods for large payouts, and document checks. And we also encourage integration cooperation, which is between the police, passport, immigration, insurers, agencies, international law firms, and that goes by the name of the Interpol.
Oh, I've heard of them.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so they keep an eye.
Quite big, aren't they?
I think they are getting on a bit now. Big setup, and obviously there's support out there now for whistleblowers and protecting them through certain channels.
So the three people we spoke about, the reason it was illegal is the fraud side of stuff. It wasn't illegal for them to disappear per se.
No, there's nothing illegal.
It was pretending to be somebody else because they essentially got somebody else's identity, and then I guess all the fraud that came alongside it as well.
Yeah. So it's not illegal to disappear.
It's not actually illegal to disappear.
No. And there's faking your own death. I mean, how long does it have to be before you effectively, like, you are dead? Like, there's so many missing people out there when they become dead.
Yeah, and even if there are missing people, if you, like you said with the two sons, they might still have been looking for their dad.
100%.
That they might not have believed that he was dead. They might have had that hope, and therefore that's still dangerous to him because there's a chance at some point they recognize him somewhere, or they suddenly find out where he might have gone, or something along the lines of. So it's I hear what you're saying about close family, friends, nobody can know. Literally nobody can know.
Yeah,
I think he really messed up telling his wife, even though she helped him do it.
He wouldn't have been able to do it without his wife, though.
He wouldn't have, but at the same time, she kind of messed it up a little bit for him as well.
He's the one that fucked it up.
Yeah.
He's the one.
He was the one who pretended to be dead. That was the main fuck.
He's the one that decided to come back from Panama to get a letter from the police so they could live in Panama.
The thing is if you've got multiple properties, if you're too proud to sell them, just fucking sell them, move to Panama anyway.
Exactly.
You could have skipped so many steps.
This guy,
and you would still have a canoe.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just mental. But I've got a few questions to ask you before we wrap this up.
Yeah, go on.
What red flags would you prioritise if you was an insurance or a register? What would you keep an eye on? What would you do to ensure that nobody is, well, you can fake your own death all you want, but at the end of the day, not trying to commit fraud against you.
I guess the person who goes to next after you, they'd have to be on the certificate or on the documentation for a certain period of time.
Yeah.
So I think time's a lot of authorities' friend. If there's a lot of time behind whatever, because people, I feel like if you want to disappear, it is a bit of a lengthy process, but you want to do it fast, don't you?
Yeah.
You don't suddenly decide 20 years prior to wanting to disappear that you want to disappear.
Yeah.
Normally it's down to whatever pressure it might be, financial and literally anything.
Insurance organisations, I was reading up before, there is no time frame for when they can pay out.
Oh, so they can hold on to that money.
So it's not a considerable amount of time, but a questionable amount of time. If they doubt for any instance,
then they're going to hold on to it. Otherwise, they lose massive amounts of money.
And it's a case of you proving to them that
you, the person's dead or something has happened for you to claim that payout.
Yeah, which is a big thing as well. Yeah. And also, what do you think about media balance and public interest? Because I found this fascinating. Obviously, the gentleman was all over the news about the canoe, and then years later he turns up and he's obviously all over the news again. What do you think about public interest in regards to people going missing or dying? And do you think it should be something that we don't question too much? We should sit back and let the families and the authorities sort it out, or do we speculate and assume?
Well, that's a big question.
I'm just going to say, do you remember a woman called Nicola Bulley?
No.
So tragically, a few years ago, she was walking the dog, and if I remember rightly, she either slipped or fell into the river around Christmas time.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
The verdict was she passed from cold water shock.
But she didn't, did she? Was she found alive further down?
No, she was found dead further down. And the police had already searched that area, they stated, and then they found her later on. This happened over the space of like 10 days, maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah, I do seem to remember that one.
But there was a lot in the media about stating that her husband had killed her.
Yes, because he got all sorts of death threats
Yeah.
and yeah, he got a real bad rep for it.
Yeah.
And that was kind of on the media.
And this gentleman is grieving for his missing wife with children at home, not knowing the future, and then being persecuted.
Yeah, at the same time, being called a murderer.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's nothing you can say after you've stated that to someone to resolve it. You know what I mean?
But I think that's critical of the media rather than people knowing wanting to know about it.
Anyway, after you listen to me waffle on now for an hour, how would you do it now? Would you still just do what you said and get on a plane, fly to, where did you say? South
Yeah, I was going to South America, and then I was just going to find a fisherman to take me across to Cuba.
Yeah.
Obviously take some cash or something with me as well. And then just spend my time smoking cigars and stuff. This time, I'd probably just go to Asia and pay for that service.
Yep. Yep.
I don't really have any financial obligations, or don't want to claim insurance. I think if I wanted to disappear, it'd be to escape the reality I'm in at the minute.
Which is a good reality, though, at the moment. Like, for me and you looking at each other's lives, both of us have so much more positive over negatives.
Oh, absolutely. But
I've always said, like, we have a certain friend. We just have to blink this out. Well, I'm going to say his name. We'll just beep this now.
Yeah.
So that individual I just stated.
Yeah, beepity beep.
Beepity beep beep beep. I'd fucking get up and go. I'd literally be like, right, the world's my oyster. I've got no responsibilities.
Yeah, he's free as his kite.
He's as high as a fucking kite. Also, he's also as free as a kite. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like, I'm going to go and do stuff. And yeah, the reason I don't do what I want to do is because I know deep down that I wouldn't be able to provide and have the life that I crave the most. No.
But do you not just sometimes think like, oh, I wonder what happens if I just disappear?
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't mean to say that you're going to act on it, but just like sort of dramatize it in your head.
Actually, in the pipeline, don't we? We have a top secret thing that we plan on doing in the next year or two.
Oh yeah.
What did we call it?
I can't remember it. I had a brilliant name and now I've forgotten it.
Yeah, we can't divulge on what it is because someone might steal the idea. But hopefully we'll be doing it. We'll be doing that soon.
I reckon so. And it kind of relates to this, doesn't it?
You're fucked, mate.
Oh, 100%. I'm not looking forward to it, but it'll be funny.
I'm gonna have to text you and be like, sorry about that, but you may see him in the next week, or it might be the next 8 years. I'm not too sure.
It's really hard to tell.
It's hard to tell, but just keep an eye out on the news.
Shit, he's in a canoe.
I'm just putting an air tag in you. When the air tag runs out of battery, you'll be like, right, well.
Oh, that's it. We tried. It's been 16 years.
That's what I'm saying. About 2 or 3 years on an air tag, and that's it. Just last known quarters. Well, like you say, it's not illegal to fake your own death. It's illegal to pursue any type of fraud involved with it. We don't advise anyone to do it. If you do intend to do it,
let us know how you do it. So we can do another podcast on it.
Yeah, just drop us a message and let us know how you do it.
If you're doing it for illegal reasons, maybe don't, because that seems like...
Oh, no. If you are doing it for illegal reasons, just drop us an email.
We'll change your name.
To
John Jones.
John Terrence. Well, yeah, I hope you enjoyed today.
It was good. And I look forward to the next one.
Yeah, so peace out, everyone. Have a good evening. Adios. Goodbye.
Just press that big red button that says stop recording. That was Educate a Mate on faking your own death. A terrible life plan, a legal nightmare, and somehow still something people keep trying like it'll go smoothly. If you learned something today, give us a follow, and if you ever disappear, at least leave us a 5-star review first. Catch you next time on Educate a Mate.